Erin Lucy, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am starting my final 5 books in a week vlog for the summer. So yeah, I'm really excited. It is Monday morning, good morning, and I have been thinking about what to read this week. But also it's going to be a kind of funny week because it is the week before classes start, actually. I'd hoped to do this earlier, but it was just like really crazy. My mom came to visit me and I was like doing so much dog sitting and house sitting and stuff, and it just like was not going to work. So I decided this week would have to be the week. So I have a lot of work to do and prep for the semester, but I still think I'm gonna try. We'll see. I didn't completely finish my one from July, but I've been super motivated to read this month. I don't know how this happens, but every year, August and September end up being my best reading months. I genuinely don't understand why that is, but it happens almost every year and has not failed. August, I've already read so many different books, and I'm feeling pretty pumped about it. I have a meeting at 10 a.m. and then I have some stuff to do for Utah Public Radio. The afternoon I will spend working on class prep and doing a little bit of reading, and then I have probably hang out with some friends tonight. So before I go into all that, though, I'll talk about my potential reads. I struggled a little bit more with this month. I had kind of some books already picked out from the last couple, and one of those I didn't end up reading, so I'm going to read this month, and that is All Systems Red by Martha Wells. I think this was supposed to be in like my June reads, and I didn't get to it, so I'm going to put it on the list for this one. We'll see. And then this is one that I did have already picked out, Before the Coffee Gets Cold, Tales from the Cafe, which I read the first one, Before the Coffee Gets Cold, a while ago now, maybe like a year and a half ago, and got this one as the second one, and I have the third one, but I think I'm just going to read the second one. Very wholesome, nice, cute, good vibes. So, the other two I have Crying in H Mart, which it's been on my reading list for so long. I've had it for a really long time and thought it would be good to maybe try picking up something like that I've had on my shelves for a long time. But I also have the audiobook, which I think would be good to like read either in tandem or be able to do things while I'm reading, which is going to become more and more crucial in the semester because it's going to get busy. So I'm actually thinking of starting with this one. We'll see, but reading a little bit of that today. And then also I have The Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel, which I've had for a long time now and had pre-ordered this when it first came out and started reading it, but for some reason didn't actually finish. I remember I was liking it, but I just didn't finish it. So would love to get around to that. I've been thinking a lot lately about like books I haven't finished because I have a couple, and it's really rare that I actually DNF a book. I usually just like put it down and pick it up later. So I have some unfinished books and a lot of unfinished series, and I've been thinking about that lately and trying to kind of catch up on that for the rest of this year. My last one, I'm gonna keep kind of open. There are a couple of options that I'm thinking about. One is Chronicle of a Death Foretold by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Have had this one, I don't know how long, maybe 6 months. I picked it up at a used bookstore. Really love 100 Years of Solitude and have never read anything else of Marquez's, so would love to read that. It's also pretty short, but it might be a little harder to read. So that's a possibility, but the reason I'm not 100% sure is because I think this is going to be a busy week. I'm also in the middle of reading The Starless Sea for a different video and don't want to completely stop reading that. So I know I'm gonna be busy with that. So there's some other options. There is Shauna's Journey, which I got from Powell's for my birthday. And this is the Miyazaki book, and I'm really curious about it. It is mostly graphic novel. So there's that, but we'll see. I've been really trying to let myself like mood read, which is why I don't really do like TBRs or anything like that. And these weeks are like the most I feel like I like plan out my reading, aside from having like a very vague like, ooh, these are all the books I want to read. So there's that. I also am in the middle of the Poison Study series, which I did start reading. Magic Study, I think it's called, which is the next one. So there's a lot going on right now, but I think I will start with Crying in H Mart to have somewhere to start. And this one is going to be the one, I believe this one's nonfiction. It's a memoir. And it is about the author when she's working as a waitress, struggling to launch her music career in Philadelphia. She gets a call that her mom is ill. And so she goes and flies home to Oregon to be with her mother through her battle with cancer. I've heard this is like really amazing. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. Lately, I've read a lot of really sad books, but I guess we're gonna continue with one more. So yeah, that's what's going on for today. And for tomorrow, I just kind of have a work day planned. Don't really have any meetings or anything like that. I'll be doing a lot of work, and then I will probably try to check in Wednesday. to do a little bit of a check-in. So where are we at with reading? It is Wednesday evening. It has been pretty productive week work-wise. This morning I worked at a coffee shop with a friend. We've been doing that Wednesday and Friday mornings. And then this afternoon I've been working on stuff for the class that I'm teaching, which is coming up next week, so I'm starting to feel the pressure on that a little bit. But yes, as far as reading goes, we're going, and we're already off track, but we're going. Crying in H Mart, I finished this yesterday, and fantastic and sad. It is Michelle Zauner's memoir about her mother and her mother's cancer diagnosis, and it's really about her relationship with her mom and her identity as a Korean American and food. The food descriptions in this book are probably like the best I've ever read. So if you like food, you don't mind a little bit of like a sad but beautiful memoir, highly recommend. The food descriptions were just incredible. Loved it. So yeah, pretty much nothing but good things to say about it. It is sad because it's about her mother's cancer diagnosis, but it really explores some really powerful themes and has just like this constant flow of like food description. So yeah, crying in H Mart. Now here's where I went off track because I read The Wife Between Us. I'm trying to think now, maybe I finished this on Monday. Anyway, read The Wife Between Us, so this is kind of departure from what my TBR was gonna be for this week, but I don't know. I've been kind of feeling the fall vibes. It's been a while since I've read like a thrillery mystery type thing. This was not really what I expected it to be though. So like I was still intrigued and glad I read it, but it's not what I expected it to be. It's essentially about this woman, Vanessa, and her marriage to Richard, and essentially we start with her, he has left her for this other woman who is younger, very similar to Vanessa when she first started dating Richard, and it is all about like their relationship and how and why it ended the way it did. And Vanessa's like trying to get a hold of like the current fiance, this girl, and she's having a really hard time getting a hold of her. I don't want to spoil anything because I feel like there's just like spoilers throughout. But again, I really enjoyed it. It's way less like thrillery and like mystery than I expected it to be, but again, still good. So yeah, The Wife Between Us. And I do feel like it's like a little fall vibes. I don't know. Anyway, it was longer though. This one was almost, oh, I didn't realize this one was almost 400 pages, but it's like really quick. I feel like this one really quick. So that is second book. I did start Shuna's Journey by Hayao Miyazaki last night. I'm not super far, but it's a graphic novel and it's beautiful. So definitely enjoying this. I'll probably read more of this tonight is what I'm thinking. And yeah, I didn't read any description of this, but essentially Shuna, the prince of a poor land, watches in despair as his people work themselves to death harvesting the little grain that grows there. And so when a traveler presents him with a sample of seeds from a mysterious western land, he sets out to find the source of the golden grain, dreaming of a better life for his subjects. It is not long before he meets a proud girl named Thea. After freeing her from captivity, he is pursued by her enemies, and while Thea escapes north, Shuna continues toward the west, finally reaching the land of the god folk. Will Shuna ever see Thea again? And will he make it back home from his quest for the golden grain? Really love all of his movies. So yes, having a lot of fun with that one, but that one's kind of like, yeah, graphic novel fun. I'm also, didn't mention this, but I'm doing a reread of The Parable of the Sower. love this book, and I'm making sure to add my little like tabs in this time. I would like to read, I think it's called The Parable of the Talents. The next one, I never like continued, even though I really love it. So I would really like to do that. So I wanted to do a reread. Anyway, I have it on audiobook, so I've been listening to it while I've been doing different things, going on walks and stuff. But yeah, that is my little reading update. Tomorrow I have one meeting in the afternoon, but otherwise it's like another work day. Really trying to get my class stuff down tomorrow, work on some lectures, and make sure, like, I need to really finalize the syllabus, my assignments and stuff like that. So I've had that done for a little while, but like I've kind of been on the fence about some things, so I need to make some final decisions. And then Friday, I'm gonna be going into campus. I have a lot to do on Friday. I have like several meetings, and just for like different things, for making sure my class is set up right in our like web portal thing, and some lab stuff for research. And it's also new student orientation for the new graduate students on Friday. So I'm gonna be going to the lunch to answer any questions that they have. So that is what the rest of my week looks like. And yeah, hoping to be super productive. We do have lots of social plans for the weekend, which I'm really psyched about. Gonna see some of our friends on Friday night and Saturday night. We have like a kind of like a little party thing. I'm hoping to get coffee or something with my friend on Saturday. That's kind of the plan for the rest of the week. I will check in again in a little bit. But yeah.
Said that you've been hurt one too many times before. Ended up staring in the bathroom mirror, crying on your bedroom floor. Baby, you can take my word, you haven't gotta hurt no more. Things about to get much better. I wanna make this forever. I wanna make this forever. Said that you felt lost 100 times before, going in circles on a one-way street, running till your feet get sore. Well, I guess you haven't heard, you ain't got around no more. Things about to get much better, so I wanna make this forever. I wanna make this forever. I wanna make this forever. Said that you've been hurt one too many times before. Ended up staring in the bathroom mirror, crying on your bedroom floor. Baby, you can take my word, you haven't gotta hurt no more. Things about to get much better. I wanna make this forever. I wanna make this forever. said that you felt lost 100 times before, going in circles on a one-way street, round until your feet get sore. But I guess you haven't heard, you've been get around no more. Things are about to get much better, so I wanna make this forever. 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 I wanna make this said that you've been hurt one too many times before. Ended up staring in the bathroom mirror, crying on your bedroom floor. Baby, you can take my word, you haven't gotta hurt no more. Things are about to get much better. I wanna make this forever. I wanna make this forever. Said that you felt lost 100 times before, going in circles on a one-way street, round until your feet get sore. But I guess you haven't heard, you've been get around no more. Things are about to get much better, so I wanna make this forever. 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 I wanna make this
Hi. Okay, so I am chaos this week and have started so many things. I'm currently reading Trust in the Emerald Sea, but also started Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and I'm a decent way through Shuna's Journey. So that's where I'm at reading. It is Saturday evening. We're about to go to a friend's for a party, housewarming party thing. So yeah, I just wanted to do a quick check-in because I haven't really checked in a while. But it's been super good. Saturday was so fun. We went to the farmer's market, hung out with a friend for a while. It's been so hard. Like, I think about filming and then I forget every time we go somewhere to do something. So that's what's been happening to me. But did some reading this afternoon, and yeah. Tomorrow, Sunday, is just gonna hopefully be pretty chill. Might try to do some candle making with my friend, but yeah. Okay, so I want to do a final conclusion for this video. Today is actually Monday, so I finished everything yesterday. Just been a little crazy. Today's technically the first day of classes. I teach tomorrow, so busy time, but I do want to give a final reading update from last week. And so, finished Shuna's Journey by Hayao Miyazaki. I really love this. Beautiful, not surprised, expected to love it. It was significantly darker than I expected. I think I talked about the premise. This boy, Shuna, he's going to look for these seeds that like this traveler brought to his land. And he's a prince, and he wants to go find these seeds to provide for his people. And meets this girl Thea along the way, and there's lots of adventures. Just like some scenes were way darker than I expected them, but maybe you should have expected that. There's a lot of really wholesome Studio Ghibli Miyazaki films, but there's also some that have really disturbing things and themes. So maybe not all that surprising, but overall really good. So yeah, Shuna's Journey. And then I mentioned a couple times, I just like went way off my TBR this week. And I do feel like I've just been like kind of on a reading roll, doing a lot of reading. And since the semester's starting, I'm not gonna have as much time. There were some books that like I really wanted to read before the semester started. So one of those was Tress of the Emerald Sea. I also wanted to read this while it was still summer. I don't know, it feels like a summer vibe. And this was my first Brandon Sanderson. I really enjoyed this. So good, like almost 5 stars. So really loved it. Also not sure if I gave any premise about this one, but apparently it does take place in the Cosmere, so Mistborn Stormlight Archives, I think it's called. So same world or universe as those other novels, but this is a standalone, and Tress has this friend who, oh, his name is Charlie, and he is the Duke's son who pretends to be a groundskeeper. But Tress is kind of in on the joke. And they're really close, but of course the Duke wants his son to marry, you know, some other royalty. So the Duke and his son like go off the island, which also the island like no one leaves, so it's kind of a big deal. And when the Duke comes back, his son's not with him, and so Tress sets out on this adventure. It's so good. Like this personal growth is amazing. I really liked Tress, and all the characters amazing. So yeah, had such a good time reading this. And then I ended up, as my final book, just reading, I was doing a reread of The Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler, which I read a few years ago, I want to say 2019, but I have yet to read Parable of the Talents, which is the second one. I'm not sure why I never read it, but it got to the point where I knew I couldn't read the second without rereading this one because it just been too long. And so I did that kind of throughout the week, and just like one of my favorite books. It is dark and sad, but I really like Lauren, one of my favorite main characters. Just as good. It did kind of like, I guess I forgot also how dark this one was, but I feel like part of why I love this book is because even though it's like dark and the depiction of the, you know, future is really not a positive one, there's a lot of death and gore and terrible things. To me, it's also kind of the most realistic and talks a lot about like climate change, wildfires, stuff like that. So yes, also highly recommend. To me, this is like dystopian canon. Like it is incredible. And like I forget to, I think she wrote it in the 90s, 1993. So yeah, super good. Anyway, sorry I kind of went off of my TBR for the week, but I have mentioned I'm just like really not a great TBR reader, and I tried this summer to do these weeks and it worked sometimes and not others. I just have found that I'm such a big mood reader, and I'm kind of just embracing that at this point. I feel like for a while I was like kind of, I don't know, getting on to myself about like not reading certain things on my TBR, but at this point I pretty much just embrace it, and I feel like I've been reading so much more since I did that, and yeah, I'm loving it. So it was a really good week. It was kind of a weird one because it was the week before classes start, so I was doing a lot of prep and forgot to film a lot of that kind of stuff, but it was a lot of prepping for classes, doing some writing for my dissertation, reading, and yeah, it was overall really good. I've had such a good reading month in August. I'll do a reading wrap up of that as well, but so good. Oh my gosh, I even forgot. I also listened to another book, Accidentally Amy. I've been reading so much like dark books. This month I read A Little Life, Demon Copperhead, I don't know, a lot of like more slightly darker things. And so I wanted like a little rom-com, and so I read Accidentally Amy. Not sure how, I think it just like came up on something when I was like searching through books, and it was very lighthearted, so it did that job for me, but it was way too cheesy and cringe for me. It just felt like the romance side of it felt too like unrealistic and cringy, but that's just like a me personal thing. I have like a really hard time, I've learned, with contemporary romance. So I have usually a good time, like it puts me, you know, in like a more positive place, and I read really quickly because it's like this, you know, fun break from other things. But I oftentimes don't rate contemporary romance very highly. Yeah, just a kind of a me thing. But yeah, the premise of that one, and I think I also kind of was reading some books that were like getting a little bit into fall, had fall leaves on the cover, and there were some cute fall moments, but not very many. Trying to even remember the plot of this right now. Oh yeah, they're at a Starbucks or a coffee shop, and Amy's on her way to, it's her first day of work, that's what it is. Or she's waiting for her drink, but it was a really long line, and they call Amy, and her name is not Amy, but after like they say it a couple times and no one comes for the drink, it's the same thing she ordered, she paid for it, so she was like, you know what, whatever, I'm gonna be late to my first day. She grabbed it, and in doing so, she like turns around, bumps into this guy, spills a drink all over him, and they have this like adorable little meet cute moment. Vibes are amazing, but then he calls her Amy because he heard the barista say her name was Amy, and she's like, oh crap, you know, leaves, goes to work. Turns out, of course, he's like her boss or boss's boss or something. And to me, I think the part that just set it off on like a not great note, this is in the very beginning, so not really a spoiler, is just that when they have this confrontation about her not being Amy, she gets like all defensive about it. And like, she pretended her name was Amy, like, and she was the one kind of in the wrong in that situation. So she like calls him such like a grumpy, I don't know, boss, but like I feel like he never really is. I don't know, I just like thought like that started off kind of like weird to me. Anyway, so yeah, so I actually read another book, and yeah, just like such a good reading month. I don't know how it happens, but for me, August and September are just like usually really good reading months. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you next time.